I wanna be like you. I wanna walk like you, talk like you do. You say it's true. Connect like me. And life is you and do.
All right, so I'm here with John Murdy, creative director of Halloween Horror Nights. John, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
What is the hardest part about bringing characters like the Mind Flayer, the Demo Dog, and bringing them into Stranger Things in real life, making them scary?
They're not something that could be played by a human.
Exactly, like more puppets.
And this year we really kind of, made our job 10 times harder by doing all of that season 2 stuff from Stranger Things, the Mind Flayer, the Demo Dogs, the season 3 dealing, starting to tease the creature from season 3, but also, Ghostbusters, because then you have to create terror dogs, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, it gets to the point where, and even in Creepshow, I didn't go into a lot of detail on the new stuff because I don't want to give away spoilers for the show, but there's stuff we had to do like that isn't played by people in that maze too. So it really puts a lot of pressure on the effects side of it. And I think what most people don't realize is that it's always a prototype, It's always something you have to build from scratch. Even if you've done American Werewolf in London and you've done things like that before with puppets, you know how to do it, you know what the intent is, but every one of them are different. And ultimately it's going to be operated by a puppeteer behind the set. So every time you build one of those things, it's like a first article or a prototype where you don't really get the chance to road test it for 6 months before it goes in the show. Mm-hmm. So it's always a huge challenge to create that stuff.
Now, what was the decision to do both the original film and the new Shudder series instead of just focusing on the movie or the series for Creepshow?
Well, like I said, we were at the event and Greg came down to hang out with us and he told us he was executive producing the new series. So it's always great when we've got something in the window of our event that's going on, whether it's a movie that's releasing. I'm sure you guys have noticed this over the years. We always have at least one TV show or movie that's going on the air or coming out in theaters during the event. That's because they have their own publicity campaign and it just feeds into ours. So we thought it would be a great idea, to have the chance to work with Greg again. Obviously we did, I think, 4 different mazes with him for Walking Dead. We did the permanent attraction with him for Walking Dead, but we hadn't had a chance to work together again. And we knew if Greg was involved, we knew the creatures were going to be crazy and a lot of fun to bring to life. So that was, primarily the reason we decided to do both.
Now, one last question. With Ghostbusters, did you think about it in years prior? I know some of the fans have suggested it over the years. What was the ultimate decision to bring Ghostbusters this year, not in years prior?
It's talking with our sister park in Orlando. I think actually, to give them credit, I believe it was their idea, and they brought it up to us. And at first you kind of go, wow, that's a comedy. It's not a horror movie. I mean, it's a comedy with horror elements in it. But one of the things we've liked to do over the years is to kind of push the boundaries of what is accepted as horror. We've done this, multiple times in the past, where we'll take a chance on a property that horror wouldn't be the first thing that comes to mind. But when I really started thinking about Ghostbusters, I was like, okay, you got the terror dogs, you got that library ghost creature that the gray lady turns into, you've got, Gozer, you've got the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And as I started to think about it more and more and more, I was like, there's a lot of things in this that can scare people. Yeah. The trick is, can we balance that with the humor that's such a part of Ghostbusters? Mm-hmm. And that's really going to be, ultimately, it'll be judged by our fans and our guests, if they, enjoyed it. But I think the operative word is fun. I think some mazes you're trying to scare the living fill in the blank out of somebody, and some mazes are a little bit different, and they're maybe a little bit lighter and a little bit more fun. Killer Clowns is like that.
Yeah.
Killer Clowns is not a slasher movie.
It's a more fun movie.
It's in essence it's like the ultimate B movie, but it's so cool and it's got so many cool elements. You want to bring it to life for people.
And so much more to expect from Halloween Horror Nights this year. It starts on September 13th. Get your tickets now. Thank you very much, Sean, for taking this time.
My pleasure.
Everyone cashed out. We got the last soul. Suck it on head city.